You can just display that one image. Good morning, everyone. Deserving to win and not winning is better than winning without deserving. A very long topic, right? That was the topic that I got for the district contest couple of years back. And fortunately for me, I managed to do a decent job, but I placed second. So what I can guide you today is how to be at least second at the district. How to win, that you will have to learn from the champion. Right? So before we begin specifically for table topics, let's get a brief idea about how table topics contest works, right? Because many of you are newer members, couple of you are recently joined. So let's have that idea first. Anybody has never attended a contest in Toastmasters? You can just raise your hands. Okay, one member at the back, 2, 3. Okay, a few members. So in table topics, you have an idea what table topics is? Yes? Okay. So in table topics contest, you will have multiple contestants participating. Say you have 10 people participating. All of them will be attempting the same topic. Because if there are different topics, it's hard to judge who has done well, who has not done well, and so on. Before I continue, just for the timer, give me signals at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So just green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. Yeah. So once you have the selected contestants, 10 contestants for example, only the first contestant will be in the room and the rest of the 9 contestants will stay outside. Once the first speaker's speech is done, then the second speaker will come, then the third speaker will come, and so on. Right? Now, there is a reason why I am explaining the process as well, because that will have to do with how to attempt a table topic. Right? We are clear for now? Okay. There is a table topics ballot as well. Do you have the table topics ballot with you? She can send. So we will discuss that. So what criteria the judges are going to judge you on, that also we will discuss towards the end if we have time. Otherwise, someone from the club can explain it to you later on. Right? So let's begin. Yes. Let's begin. Yes. Okay, I need a storm over here. We will weather through it, right? Great. So before we start how to attempt a table topic, I'd like to touch upon what to do before you attempt a table topic, right? How many of you love attempting topics? And how many of you are fearful? Okay, a fair few. That's totally justified. Although I have been to the district once in table topics, division couple of times, even today, whenever I have to go on stage, I still feel nervous. But you have to be tenacious and just go for it, right? So now, what to do while attempting or before attempting a topic? So can we just zoom into the image if possible? Yeah, just focus on the breathe aspect. Yeah. Many times, whenever we go on stage, we are already out of breath because we are so nervous that we are short-breathed. We are taking short breaths and we can't focus on what is coming next. So before you go on stage, take a few deep breaths, calm yourself down, because there are 2 types of nervous systems. Do you know about that? Yeah, she is of course almost medical now, pharmacy professional. So one is where you react instantly, second is where you respond. So if you haven't calmed yourself down enough, you will start off with the topic immediately once you get it. And then you will go blank. But when you have calmed yourself down, you will give yourself enough time to think, process, and then start off with the topic. Right? So before starting off, before coming on the stage, give yourself those few seconds to prepare your mind. And what should you have in your mind at that point of time? Any guesses? Oh, lovely. Who was that? Okay, let's give a round of applause for her. Because if you already have some preconceived thoughts in your head and the topic is completely different, what are you going to do? You're going to get confused. So before going on stage, try to be blank, be an open canvas, so that once there is some paint, you can actually make a painting from it, right? Yes. So first step, breathe. Can you go to the next step?
I had a question.
Yeah.
So, will we get the topic before we start breathing or after we get
Yeah. So that's why I said some contestants will be outside and one contestant will be in the room. So you already know what speaking order you are going to go, right? So if you are first, while the people are being escorted outside the room, start preparing yourself right at that moment. Because the judges aren't seeing you once you start speaking. They are seeing you right from the moment you start walking on the stage. So if you are shaking at that point of time, if you are nervous, it is very evident. Nervous energy is contagious, right? Whenever a speaker is nervous, you feel it within yourself as well. Whereas whenever a speaker is confident, you feel that with you, right? So the breathing part, it will begin before the topic as well. But after the topic is given, give yourself those 5-10 seconds also. Because many times once you get a topic, you get one idea and you rush into it. But after the first 5 words, you go blank, right? Because you haven't given your brain time to form the thought properly. If you take those 5 seconds, you know at least what you want to speak for the first 10-15 seconds. And once those 10-15 seconds are done, in that time you have figured out what to say next. In the next 15 seconds, you have figured out what to say next. So that is a process. So if you don't take those first 5 seconds, you are going to struggle right at the start, and then the full topic goes for a toss. Right? Second thing, pause. Before the topic is given, as I said, after the topic is given, and even in between the topic. All of us have learned grammar as kids, right? Whether it is in whichever language you have learned it, there are commas, there are full stops. Why don't we use these while speaking? Whenever we are moving from one point to another, use that full stop in your speech as well by taking a pause. It gives the audience time to absorb what you are saying, and most importantly, it gives you time to think what to say next. And the commas. Whenever you are going to say something important, take that pause before it and take that pause after it, so that that specific point gets highlighted, right? So pausing is also important. Let's go to the next point. Slow down. Anyone knows how much time we get for a table topic?
3 minutes?
Maximum 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Exactly, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That is 150 seconds, right? Now we have to plan your speech for those 150 seconds or 2.5 minutes. Whenever we are nervous, have you noticed you speak very fast?
Definitely.
Ramesh sir, when he started today, he was nervous, he was speaking very fast. But as he became confident, he slowed down. So if you are speaking fast, your tongue is moving faster than your brain can think. And then the ahs and ums start to pop in. If you usually, when we are nervous, when we are speaking faster, we speak around 120 to 130 words per minute. So if you are speaking for 2.5 minutes, that's 120 plus 120 plus 60. That's a lot of words to think about, right? Instead, if you are slightly slowing down your pace, maybe around 90 to 100 words, then you have to speak only 200-250 words in your table topic. Less content to think about, easier to avoid ahs and ums. Also, when you slow down, you give your brain time to think what to say next, right? And slowing down also gives an impression to the audience that you are confident. Have you noticed Narendra Modi? He speaks like 10 words per minute. मित्रों 10 second pause. मेरे प्यारे भाइयों और बहनों 10 seconds pause, right? I'm not saying do that much because you have limited time in the table topic, but slow down, right? Now let's get to how to actually attempt the topics, what to do before and stuff is done, what to speak. Let's move to that. So you can focus that there is a tree and a goat, but we'll come to that later. So let's look at the two methods that I usually use for table topics, right? In a table topics contest, usually you will get a saying that a stitch in time saves 9, or a rolling stone gathers no moss, empty vessels make more noise, etc. And for that, these two methods can be very effective. And this is just a primary structure that I'm giving you. As you become an experienced speaker, you can change it based on your own thoughts, right? So the first thing, point. A rolling stone gathers no moss, or a stitch in time saves 9. Most of the people are going to agree with the thought because that is the first thing that your brain is trained to do. But there are 10 other speakers who are going to come and agree to the topic. Imagine yourself in the position of a judge, 10, 11 speakers speaking about the same thing, pretty much 95% of the content is same. Won't you get bored? In that moment, if a penguin walks in and disagrees, do you think they will stand out? Yes, right? So be that penguin in the table topics contest as well. But don't force yourself to do so. You have to think whether you can speak contra to the topic or not, right? So when I got the topic deserving to win and not winning, I disagreed with the topic that yes, deserving and all is fine, but eventually whether you win or not is the thing that matters. Do you think if Priya had come second during ISC, she would have got the same level of attention or recognition? No, right? She is the district champion. She won it, and that's the thing that matters. So I went contra to what the topic was given. Most of the people came up and said, yes, deserving is important, this, blah, blah, blah. All of them were in the same line. I took a different line and I was the penguin. So for this first point, try to be the penguin. Now once you have said that you agree or you disagree, next come to the reason. Because many times you would have seen multiple leaders just say things, but till they give you a reason for it, you don't tend to agree with it, right? Even when your parents tell you don't do this or do this, you will counter them why, and then you will require a reason for it. So once you have agreed or disagreed, give a reason, share your thought process, why you are saying what you are saying. The third thing, share stories, because reasons, points, they connect to your brain. But stories elicit emotion, and it is the emotion that helps you connect with people, right? Now here I get lots of questions usually when I conduct this session, that what story should I share about? I don't have any stories. Do you think so? Many times you will struggle to come up with stories. Yes? So let's look what type of stories. Yeah, you have a question. I see.
I have a question, but if you could address it, I feel like I have limited stories.
Yeah. Yes, so all of us have a few highlights in our life which we usually consider as our stories, and then we don't know what to say next. Yeah? That was the question. So now what exactly to speak about? Which story to tell depends on two things, rather three things. One, what the topic is. Second, who you are. And third thing, who the audience is. I feel the third thing is most important. Because if in a room full of college students, I share that, oh, my boss is like this, I am not getting a raise, are they going to connect with it? No, right? If in a room full of single people, I say, my kid is giving me this trouble, he doesn't do the homework, blah, 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 are they going to connect? No, right? So you need to know your audience first. KYC, right? Know your customer. So study the room once you get into it. What are the types of people? If you are giving a speech over here in Amanora, maybe speaking about Amanora or Vanori, etc., the memes over here, that will be relatable. But when you go to the district contest, the same topic might not be relatable, right? So the story needs to be generic or specific based on the audience, right? Now, what are some stories which everybody knows and are recent? One is the penguin, which Toastmaster is sharing. What are other recent famous happenings which everybody would be aware of? Dhurandhar, yes, wonderful. Most of the country saw Dhurandhar. Whether they were for it, against it, doesn't matter. But people are aware of the concept. Yeah, excellent. Cricket, yes. In my table topics as well, Vikram was also a contestant that time. I had spoken about the Cricket World Cup, and at that time, it was very recent. India had dominated throughout the contest, and in the finals, we messed up. So I started my speech with 19th November 2023. And from the back of the audience, someone said World Cup. So without speaking a lot, I had already connected with the audience. So yes, Dhurandhar, cricket. Recently, women also won the World Cup. So that is another relatable thing. Any other topics? I am just preparing you for your contest on 28th.
Australian Open.
Australian Open, yes. I gave the example of Djokovic and people related with it immediately. Any others? Yeah, Maduro, President Maduro of Venezuela was kidnapped.
The deal of between India and UK, the mother of all the deals.
Yeah, Europe. UK is outside, so yeah. But exactly, fair point. Gold and silver,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Prices.
crazy prices, right?
Dollar price.
Yeah. Yesterday, silver has crashed 30%, by the way, for those who might not be aware, in the US markets. So, and tomorrow there is the budget, so you might want to be careful. Someone wanted advice from the investment advisor, right? So just be around for that. Any other stories?
Recent plane crash.
Plane crash, yes, Ajit Dada. But whether to go into politics or not, that would be a thing.
Can consider on the accident point.
Yeah, definitely. So some of the taboo topics, you have to decide what the audience is.
Our roads.
Roads, yes, everybody has the, yeah, roads, AQI, generic topics which everybody will relate with, right? How cold it was, there was flooding, this, that. So now you have at least 7-8 topics that you can use. What are some other common topics? Summer vacations as a kid? That is very close to everyone's heart, right? Time spent with grandparents, playing with your friends, hostel days, college days, something which is very common to almost everyone. So these are the types of anecdotes that you can pull out. And for that, now that blank mind that you have, you need to add some paint to that. Some white paint, some black paint, you always keep that ready, right? So select 5-6 stories which you can speak about very easily. Now the topic might come completely different, so it's not compulsory to use those. But by chance, if the topic connects with one of those stories, you have ready fodder for it, right? So in one of the area contests last year, Soham was also a contestant. The topic was not my circus, not my monkey. I was completely blank. It was the first time I was hearing this topic. But what I could have said about Donald Trump. Yeah? They say not my circus, not my monkey, but the world is so small that it is our circus and he is our monkey.
Oh my god.
Right? In India, we don't need to fear speaking about Trump. Yeah.
I agree on that.
So this was one topic that I had at the back of my mind. Trump was a monkey last year as well. So fortunately, I could connect them very easily. So have these few stories with you ready. Don't have prepared speeches, have ideas, right? So that's the third point. Point, reason, example, and finally point. If I say whether I agree or not, if I give a reason, if I share a story and I finish, it's not going to have the same impact as me reiterating what point I was talking about. So one more tip, when you get the topic, listen to it very carefully. Because you are thinking what to say next, you are speaking impromptu for 2 minutes, and in that, you might forget what the topic was. The speech went excellent, but the last 10 seconds you are trying to remember, oh shit, what was the topic? Yeah, that happens, especially if it's a longer topic or a complicated topic, that can happen. So give a point, reason, example, and reiterate right at the end. This method can be used when you strongly agree with a topic or you strongly disagree with a topic. But sometimes the topic can be very generic. All that glitters is not gold. Of course, it's silver. Yeah? But here, you might agree that all that glitters is gold, all that glitters is not gold. In such a situation, 1 minute you can spend on one side of the story, next minute you can spend on other side of the story. But again, in the individual parts, use the prep. That on one hand, I agree that all that glitters isn't gold, because sometimes it's very shiny, but it might just be a trap. On another hand, all that glitters is gold, because there is something which is attracting you towards it, and you should go with your intuition, you should go with your gut. So if given a choice to me, I would always go for that glitter, and I would go for that gold. So I spoke about A, I spoke about B, and then I made a choice. So whenever the topic is such that you don't have strong opinions, you can use the bottom method. Right? Now let's come to the goat. Raise your hand if it has happened to you. You get a topic on stage and you have absolutely no idea what the topic is. Yes? And that is the fear you would have in the table topics contest, right? Yes? So in that case, imagine that the topic is the tree. So you don't know much about the tree, but there is also a goat tied to the tree. So touch the tree, speak about the goat, and come back to the tree. Right? For this, a topic can be, the truth isn't ugly, it just doesn't wear makeup. Very complicated to speak about, right? Yeah? How to speak about this? Now makeup and all, some people might get confused. But you know what truth is, right? Truth isn't ugly, you understood that part. So that's your goat. The full tree is the full topic, but you at least understood part of the topic. So in that case, speak about the point you understood. Maybe it will result in you not winning the contest, but that's fine. At least you got confidence in yourself that I got something which I was not aware of, and I still managed to speak for 1.5 minutes. Right? So that is how you can attempt a topic which you have absolutely no idea about. Break down the individual words, and whatever you can take from it, speak about that. Right? So that was the brief session. I kind of rushed through the session. What is the time? 23 minutes, right? Excellent. So we had 35 minutes of time, so we have 12 minutes for question and answers. So the stage is open. Any questions that you might have, you can go for it.
I may have missed it, but how much time do we get to think? Do we get time?
Grace period.
Not Grace. She is thinking before the, yeah. So usually it is 10 to 15 seconds, but as you go up the ladder, at club you might want to take the full time. If you go to the area division, then you need to slightly cut down on that time, because then other people are starting off soon and you are taking lots of time. That can impact negatively as well. So 5 to 10 seconds is a good time to take. But that's better than rushing off into the point. And one point I had missed out, that many times when we look at prepared speeches for ISC, International Speech Contest, we think, oh, it needs to have a structure. But even in table topics, that too needs to have a structure. So when we mentioned about prep, point, reason, example, point, it also includes opening, body, and conclusion. So how to actually time it? Because 1 to 2 minutes is a very short span of time to speak, right? So again, as we said, 150 seconds, but we don't want to plan for 150 because if a random thought pops into our mind, we need to keep time for that. So let's plan for 120. 20 seconds for conclusion is good. Yeah, I think you can conclude properly in 20 seconds. 20 seconds is good for an opening, right? So out of 120, 20 plus 20, 40 seconds is done. Now you have 80 seconds for the body. Now within that body, how much can you explore in your story? Maybe 50 to 60 seconds, so that you are left with grace period of 20 seconds. So whenever you are constructing a speech in your mind for table topics, limit yourself how big you want to keep the opening, how big you want to keep the story, and how much time you want to leave yourself for conclusion. It has happened with me as well that the yellow card was shown, that is 1 minute 30 seconds are already up, and a story popped into my head. And I felt it so interesting, I must share. I started off with that story and I got almost disqualified. I had to wrap up my conclusion in 5 seconds and I lost out on points over there. So that's why plan your opening, body and conclusion properly so that you don't have to cut out on any part. If there is a yellow card, don't start off with a new story because then you can't complete the story and get a good conclusion. Don't spend too much time on the opening explaining what the saying is or what the topic is, because everybody is fairly aware of what the topic is. They have heard it 2-3 times. It's okay. Spend few seconds, move on to the examples, because that is something which is going to differentiate you from the rest of the people. The meaning of the saying remains same, right? A stitch in time saves 9. There are 11 people speaking that yes, stitch in time saves 9 means this. Now what story you share, that is something different. So plan that thing properly, right? Any other questions?
So like evaluation contest, the person who speaks sits in the audience. Similarly, for table topics also, once you complete your speech, you sit in the audience, right?
Yeah.
So have you seen like if sometimes you do not get the tree, you do not get the goat also.
Yeah, it can happen.
So can you ask them what is it? Like, can you explain? Is it possible to ask questions like that and would they respond?
No. A contest chair will only say contestant name, topic, name. The contest chair will go and sit down. After that, the stage is completely yours. If you ask someone, nobody is going to help you at that point of time. One trick you can do in that situation while you are still figuring out even about the goat, try to interact with the audience in some way. Try to be funny, ask some funny question. What? I have not heard about this any time. There might be many people in the audience thinking the same. I actually know the meaning. And then start off. So try to borrow a few seconds by interacting with the audience. But ask only such questions which you are prepared to tackle. Because many times you will ask open-ended questions, and if the response is not what you are expecting, you might mess up. So ask basic yes or no questions. For example, this time in the evaluation contest, I started off my speech with a dance. And then I said, was I perfect? Of course I wasn't. But the audience said, yes, yes, yes. So that was something I was not prepared for. But I had to deal with it and move on. So ask questions which you can tackle, right? So that is one method which you can do. And since you asked about that thing, one more tip. Once you get the topic, in those 5-10 seconds of pause, wait for the contest chair to settle down. Smile and then start. Many times the contest chair is moving away and the speaker has already started. So the contest chair is actually distracting the audience by moving over there. Wait for the stage to be fully yours, right? Yes. Any other questions? Yeah.
So a few years ago, I was participating in table topics contest, and I don't remember the topic, but it was related to like parents and appreciation of parents, but it was a bit situational in nature. Like,
Mhm.
what will you do in these situation types? And even in our club meetings and our table topics, almost all of the topics are situational in nature.
Mhm.
What would you do in this situation? So how do we tackle those types of topics?
Okay. So the few stories of childhood that I shared, right? That you might want to keep ready with you. So try to find a story maybe from your life, maybe from a friend's life. Otherwise, just lie. Nobody knows whether you are saying the truth or whether you are lying. Just speak whatever you want about the topic, right?
It is good to have a set stories in your mind, which
Not like fully set, but like a few ideas which you can speak about. But it's okay to lie, it's okay to make up. That, oh, I had a friend who was an excellent athlete, but once he had an accident. Poor fellow lost his leg, but still he participated in Paralympics and won the gold. I don't have any such friend, but you can just make it up. Nobody knows. Totally. I mean, I personally prefer examples from my real life, but if I am not able to find it, then I will also lie on stage.
I have a question, like Mahesh asked, like if you don't know the tree about the tree or the goat, can we talk about something else, like how you mentioned that you can just interact with the audience for the whole time, or is it that we need to talk about the topic itself?
And if you want to win, then yes. Yeah. Because relevance of what you are saying is a big pointer in the ballot. So if you are moving away from the topic, then you are not going to get marks for it. But you can use a few tricks to borrow some time. So maybe the first 10 seconds or so you deviated from the topic just to give yourself time to think, and then you go into the topic. But if you speak completely different, then you are not going to win. But at least you got the confidence that you spoke for those 2 minutes. So a contest isn't necessarily against rest of the contestants. It's also against your brain. That whenever you are put in a situation which you don't know about, how you are tackling that situation, right? She shared that now you are in a storm. What you do next is what matters. So the contest is also against yourself. So you might not win, but at least you will be confident that yes, if I get a chance like this, I can manage. Yeah.
On this note, you mentioned the ballot. I've sent the ballot on the main group and the friends group.
Sure.
Touch upon some points, right?
Yes, if you can put it up. What is the timing? 32 minutes. Okay, we have 3 minutes to go.
By the time she opens.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question? Like,
Sure.
how long have you been a part of Toastmaster family?
Yeah, I've been a part of.
Profession and the way you came up with all the tips
Yeah,
and the way you were presenting
Right.
and everything. I mean, I'm curious to know.
yeah. So I've been a part of Toastmasters for 7+ years now, and that has definitely helped. But along with that, just one additional tip that every club has their own dress code, etc. But whenever you are going on stage, try to be impeccably dressed, because that actually starts your rhythm for speaking on stage. So even at home, when you are putting on that jacket, when you are putting on that suit or dressing formally, dressing powerfully, you start getting into that zone. And whenever you do that every Saturday morning, eventually it starts becoming a habit. So the next time you are going for an important meeting, an important function, whatever, if you put on that suit, you are already putting on that confidence. It is placebo, but it definitely works. If the same session I was conducting in a t-shirt and jeans, the impact would be maybe slightly lesser. But when I know I am in a powerful position, I am dress for the role that you want to be in, right? So that is something that you can follow. Because in a club contest, everybody knows you, nobody will care. But as you go to area, as you go to division, then you are creating that brand image for yourself. So the next time you meet me somewhere else, you will remember that guy in a suit had come and had spoken something about a goat and a penguin. Yeah? Yes. So I'll just quickly take through this. What is the time? It's 34 minutes. Can we extend by like few minutes? Yeah. Okay. So this is the judges' ballot. If there are say 10 speakers, the judges will write the names of the 10 speakers and judge everyone based on the same parameters. The judges are expected to be unbiased. That won't always be the case, but they will try to be as unbiased as they can, right? So the evaluation is divided into three parts: content, delivery, language, right? 55 marks, 30 marks, 15 marks. And grammar, do you see? It's just 5 marks. So many people are afraid that, oh, I am not that great at English. It is just 5 marks. So if you can score 90 of the 95 marks and you get 0 on grammar, you are still at 90, right? So don't worry too much about the language. Even if you use simple language, that's also okay. Coming to the content, it is divided into two parts: speech development, that is the structure what I spoke about, and effectiveness. So if you speak away from what the topic is, it's not effective, right? So logic, directness, enthusiasm. So you spoke well, but with the topic there was no logic to it. Yeah. So you will lose out on the 25 marks over here. Next, physical appearance, body language, speaking area. It is not compulsory to use the stage constantly, right? The room is this much. If I just raise my arms, the span is complete. So I don't need to come to this side to speak with Vikram. I don't need to come to this side and speak with you, right? So you can just be at one spot and still deliver an excellent speech. So physical appearance I already spoke about. Body language, yes, eventually with time it will be confident. Voice, flexibility and volume. I myself lose out on lots of points over there, so I won't touch much upon it. You have excellent speakers like her and Priya in the room, so they can share about vocal variety. Appropriateness. This is one more thing when you speak away from the topic or when you speak about politics, whether what you are saying is appropriate for the audience. So that will be a few marks, 10 marks over there. And finally, grammar. Pronunciation, word selection. So it will have some marks, but that is not the most important thing in the ballot, right? And once all of the totaling is done, the judges will have their own scores. Can you just scroll below? Yeah, over here, slightly above. No, above. Yeah. So the judges will only give this piece of paper to the ballot counters. So they don't care how much marks who scored. Eventually, whatever is their top 3, A, B, C, that is the only thing which they will share with the tally counters. First place gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point. Now all the 5, 6 judges, whoever are there, all their scores will be tallied, and whichever is the speaker who gets the maximum points, they will be declared as the winner, followed by second place and third place. In case there is a tie, there is also a tie-breaking judge who gives a rating for all the speakers. So rest of the judges, only top 3, tiebreaker gives rating for all the speakers. And if there is a tie, the tiebreaker's order will be taken for this, right? So this is the ballot and this is the method of how table topics contest gets conducted. Yeah?
So if you scroll down, major part is on top. Yeah, speech development and effectiveness.
Yeah. So
development stand for the content that we are going to speak.
yes. So the point, reason, example point, or the pendulum approach.
And after that, it would be subsequently tied to the effectiveness as well as
Yeah.
the physical posture we carry on the stage while speaking.
Yeah, but posture will not have as many marks.
Okay. The first two
Yeah.
would have the maximum of scoring.
Yeah. So if you look at these bottom 3 points, that is 15 plus 15, that is 30. Rest is actually the bigger chunk, 70. So that is the overall structure of topic. And I right now shared point, reason, example, point. But if you want to start off with an example, if you want to start off with a story, then it can be ERPP or it can be EPRP or whatever. So once you are fluent with your practice, you can actually change the order as well. Okay, now since I have spoken for almost 35 minutes, I need a promise from all of you. I came from Kothurud, almost 15 kilometers away. Will you guys promise to attempt 50 topics before your contest? When is your contest?
I thought today you will take today you will be a table topic master.
When is your contest? 28th, right? So 28 days to go. 2 topics every day, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You will already have a resource of 50 topics with you by the day the contest arrives. So now I have given you all the cheat codes, and hopefully I'll meet you guys at the district, assuming that I also reach over there. So with
One question, last question. 5 weird topics that you have listened, because we were in contest. What are the some topics if you can?
okay.
Yes.
For that, I'll get back to you. I'll drop a message to her and she can share, because I'll also have to recollect what were the topics. Some of them I might have given to other people. So, so the truth isn't ugly. It doesn't wear makeup is one which I recently heard of. But not my circus, not my monkey is one topic which I heard of. But others I'll have to think and I'll drop a message to Priya.
Of these kind of idioms and sayings.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Now there is a World Bank.
I just want to add to what Vivaswan is saying. So Vivaswan posts
Yeah.
Monday Night Live, and it happens every Monday.
Every Monday at 9 p.m. So it is,
Everybody gets to speak.
yeah. And we also give feedback to the speakers. So whoever is attempting a topic, we also tell them what can be improved.
Monday 9.
How to join
Every day, every Monday.
So it's a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting usually. There is a WhatsApp group for it. She can share the link.
Nisha, the invitation it is superb. I have myself attended it.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible
Yeah.
invitation.
And I don't wear a 3-piece suit in Monday Night Live. So you can also join in pajamas. I don't really mind because that's an informal session.
I'll share the link.
Right? So thank you so much, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.